I'm not saying that you can't start another business, but master the one. And I didn't want to look like that entrepreneur that was all over the place and doing all of the things and being okay with giving someone else. Because I have a very close friend now, like family to me. We were both laid off at the same time. She does career coaching. Guess what? When people come to me, I send them to her. If there's a life coach thing, I send it to someone else because this is what I focus on. Because you look so much more polished, so much more professional. And then people know exactly what to ask you for. It helps you guide your content for social media. Because, people are like, what do I market? Oh, I do all the things. You really need to just focus on one thing so that you can continuously talk to your ideal client.
Welcome to the Published and Paid podcast, where we share book, business, leadership, and life lessons in 20 minutes or less to help you build a thought leadership brand and business. My name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a former middle school language arts teacher turned seven-figure entrepreneur, and I am glad that you are here. Let's get started.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Published and Paid podcast. So excited to be here with you all today. Today I have a very, very special guest who's going to come and share her corporate expertise. We have Dr. Rhonda Anderson here. Hi, Dr. Anderson. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Jasmine, and thank you so much. First, I want to say I'm super excited to be here. I appreciate you reaching out to me to be a part of it. Very shocked when I got the invitation. So I was like, oh gosh, because I know you really interview like highly successful people. So I said, I must be in the realm somewhere. I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate, you taking the time coming on, and I'm excited to get into our combo today. So please go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners. Let us know who you are and what you do and what your book is about.
Okay. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Rhonda Anderson. I was born and raised in Albany, Georgia. That's Albany, not Albany, New York.
I'm gonna pause you right there. I had no clue.
You did not?
Albany, because I went to Fort Valley State, the Fort Valley State University.
My husband would get on you because he would be like, it's the.
That's how I went to the Fort Valley State University. Did you go to Albany State?
Well, I went to the 2-year college there.
Okay.
Now it's Albany State, so I'm truly an alumnus.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I had to interject. Y'all, for those of y'all listening, Albany State University and the Fort Valley State University have a very long-standing rivalry. All right, we are rivals. All right, so those are two HBCUs in the middle Georgia area. So shouts out to all the Rams listening and all the Wildcats listening. All right, go ahead, Dr. Anderson. Let's start over. Please introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, what you do, what your book is about.
Okay. And I graduated from Mercer University. I graduated from the Atlanta campus. I have a PhD in higher education leadership. And so, super excited about that milestone because I was one of the first in my immediate family members to get the doctorate. I have more than 15 years of experience in the talent development arena, coaching, consulting, all of those things I have. And after being laid off, I'm now the founder and principal chief talent officer for Silverhawk Coaching and Consulting. Again, that is the company I founded after being laid off. I said, hey, why not? I did not want to focus on the job market because it was not really giving people the return they were putting into it. So I said, hey, let's use my gifts and talents elsewhere. And that's where we are. And so with that company, I partner with organizations to enhance the leadership capabilities of their employees at every level of the organization, and so that they can enhance productivity and drive peak performance. And so we do that by offering talent development consulting. So for organizations who may not have talent development, they want it, but they don't necessarily have a strategy, I can help them implement that. We also do fractional talent services. If they don't have anyone in the organization at all, no HR, we act as their talent strategist. We also do leadership and management development cohorts. And I say cohorts because you see more transformation when you run cohorts in a 6 to 8 month or 12-month format for individuals. it's more than the one-offs. I'm not saying there's anything against that, but one-offs are great, but not for long-term transformation. Also offer executive coaching for the leaders at every level of the organization. And we do the one-off professional development types of talks. I'm also co-founder of a small leadership community right now called the Influential Leaders Alliance. And basically that is for professionals who want to enhance their leadership journey, want to elevate their career opportunities. And that community is for people who want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals, because now more than ever, it is very important for people to grow their network because of the things that are going on in the economic landscape right now. The more people you know, it opens up more opportunities. And so that allows for a more advanced level of networking for people to grow their sphere. And last but not least, I am a published author. I have actually written 3 books now. My earlier works, one is called The Quick and Dirty Guide to Entrepreneurship. That was co-authored with someone a long time ago, back in the day, like probably 2014, maybe 15. Then I wrote a second book on my own. It's called The Goal, Goal, Digger's Playbook. And that book was published like back in 2020 during the height of the pandemic. Self-published again, but I'm most proud of the recent work that I've written called The Influential Leader Blueprint, action-oriented strategies to enhance your leadership capabilities so that you can drive peak performance. And I just absolutely love how that book was written, because it was guided by none other than the Jasmine Womack, one of the best author coaches, marketing coaches that anybody can have on the planet right now. And I cannot tell you guys how proud I am of that work. I really felt like that was a well-written book because of the guidance. And so that book enhances leaders' mindset capabilities around leadership overall. So, what does it take to be a great leader? Am I self-aware? How do I lead teams with confidence? Because a lot of times people struggle with confidence. How do I deliver performance feedback? So it's not just your book about the characteristics of leadership. It is really, how do I manage the day-to-day? Because a lot of times leaders are thrown into roles where you have to take the people. It comes with the people. It's not just you being a solo contributor. You got to manage the people, and you have to manage them well. And so that's what it's all about.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I mean, your experience is just is varied and just really, really extensive. One of the things that you said when you first started off is that you got laid off and you started a business. And so I really want to dive into that, especially, at the time of this recording. I think right now the government just got shut down like maybe a day or two ago.
Yes.
Since the beginning of this year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was over 300,000 Black women, who work for the federal government have lost their jobs. And a lot of people are really asking themselves what's next. And in many ways, moving in fear. And if I'm not mistaken, when you and I met online, you had just kind of transitioned into that space. So what made you say, hey, I'm about to take my talents and my skills and expertise and go all in on my own business, as opposed to just kind of panicking and going and looking for another job?
Well, I did panic and look for another job. I did. But the thing that kind of really made the difference, I worked with the University of Alabama in Birmingham for the leadership and management development cohorts I had designed back in Birmingham at the company that laid me off. And so I spoke with my faculty advisor. She was kind of like a lead advisor, a very well-educated woman in the talent space, very experienced. She was like a VP at Regions Bank at one time. So we met up for coffee because she was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss you. And so she told me, she was like, Rhonda, I really do feel like, going for a job is great, but she was like, you bring so much to the table. Why not consider doing this for yourself? You have enough skills and talents to take to the market. And I was like, whoa, okay. Didn't know anybody was thinking about me like that. But she was like, you bought the University of Alabama 2 programs that they're going to keep using after you because they were so well designed. So why not? And I took some time. She said, take some time to smell the roses. And instead of being in the first panic mode that I was in, I took the time. So from May, June, July, went to New York with my friends to celebrate a birthday. I did all the things, and I took some time really to think about it. And it really took me 30 days to really get back focused. And I just started implementing the things. I said, hey, Rhonda, what's the top 5 things? If someone said, Rhonda, I want to work with you, what do you do? What are the top 5 things that you're passionate about? And I'm a person, I can do so much because I've been a general life coach before. I can do career prep and resume writing. I can do all the things. But I really did take time to answer that question because I wanted to focus on one thing, stay in that lane, and just see it through. And so talent development is what I'm so passionate about. I love people development. I love when people get light bulb moments. I love giving people strategies to help them be more productive and operate efficiently and effectively when they're dealing with their teams. And so that's where I landed on starting my business. And then I was like, okay. And I don't know, for some reason, it's like, like your marketing started just infiltrating my Instagram feed I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was asking myself, what do I need to do first? And I'm a Christian. And so God was like, well, you need to write a book. And writing another book was not on my radar, period. It was not a goal. No time soon. No time soon. No time soon. And I was like, really? And it's like, he was like, well, for you to establish yourself as a leadership strategist, a subject matter expert in a male dominated field, you need to write the book, and you're gonna do it. And like I said, your marketing just started infiltrating my timeline like a whole lot for whatever reason. Like I said, I think we swallowed a chip and we don't know it. So I saw it and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna reach out. I did your write a book that sells. I think that's the name of it. Your challenge. It was
Write
like
a book that grows your brand. I
grows
think.
your brand.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's it. I said, I'm gonna start here and really see if this is for me. And when you did that 5-day program, it really changed my life because the first question you asked on day one, because I still have that booklet with all of my scribble scrabble in it, right? The one question that you asked me was, what makes you qualified and credible to write this book? And you always struggle with that. And when I started writing down like all the things I had accomplished, it's like, why not? It was a no-brainer. At that point, it was a no-brainer.
I want to pick up there because you said that you are multi-talented. There are so many things that you do and do very well.
Yeah.
And you knew that you had to hone in on one thing. So you asked yourself, what are the top 5 things, like you need to focus on right now to get your business off the ground? And so everyone listening, I want you to understand that Dr. Anderson was a corporate professional for many years. Now she's transitioning. Now, at that point in time, she was transitioning into entrepreneurship and do know anything about owning a business. And so all too often, especially when we're doing these virtual workshops, I encounter professionals who are literally all over the place. I can do all the things, and they have the hardest time honing in on one thing. And I'll say, you need to focus on one. And they're just fighting me on it, because I understand that people will fight to keep their current belief systems, even if those current belief systems are keeping them limited and trapped.
That's right.
And so one of the things that you said that really helped you to skyrocket was really honing in on that one thing. Why was that important for you? And how did honing in on one thing, even when you were, multi-talented and could have gone in many directions and could have said, well, I do life coaching, I do leadership coaching. Like a lot of people will put out, I do life coaching, I do leadership coaching, I do this, I do that. Why was that so important for you to hone in on the most important, and how did that help your business in the past year?
Well, it was really important for me because I knew all too often what it looked like to be an entrepreneur, to be scattered all over the place. And it's not a good look, you guys, to, be all over the place, because you can't talk to your client, your ideal client, if you're all over the place. They don't even know what to ask you for. And that's just me being real. I'm not saying that you can't start another business, but master the one. And I didn't want to look like that entrepreneur that was all over the place and doing all of the things, and being okay with giving someone else. Because I have a very close friend now, like family to me. We were both laid off at the same time. She does career coaching. Guess what? When people come to me, I send them to her. If there's a life coach thing, I send it to someone else, because this is what I focus on, because you look so much more polished, so much more professional. And then people know exactly what to ask you for It helps you guide your content for social media. Because, people are like, what do I market? Oh, I do all the things. You really need to just focus on one thing so that you can continuously talk to your ideal client. It's
Yes.
a long run. This isn't fast either, you guys. It's not fast. It takes time. And so,
Ooh, I'm so glad you said that. I am so glad you said that because for some reason, we'll go into school expecting to spend 2 years in school, expecting to spend 4 years in school to learn about a particular topic or to develop a skill set and then walk away with a degree. But then when it comes to business, we expect to have it all laid out in 6 weeks and to go from zero to $100,000 a month or from 0 to 6 figures overnight without considering, hey, I'm going through a learning process. Hey, I'm going through skill development. So I'm so glad that you said that this is not an overnight process.
no, it's not. And I really equate it to, thinking about an airplane tarmac, right? But this is a really long tarmac and the ride is really bumpy. Right. And you're going to have to sleep on giving, you're going to have to give people some things that you could have made money for, but it's not what you do. I've had to do that all year, like give it to somebody else while, yes, I need money, but I can't because I got to stay here. And it's like a bumpy tarmac ride. And eventually, if you just stay the course, because I promise you guys, I'm not off the tarmac yet. I still feel like I'm on it, but my ride and my lift, it's going there because I focused on talent development, all the services I listed out in my about that we just discussed, and people are knowing me as that subject matter expert now.
I love it. I love it.
So you really want to take your time, stay the course, calm your nerves because you're not going to make $100,000, and only have been in business 3 weeks. That's not going to work. Take your time. And it's a great process. And you learn so much in that process, when you take the time. Just take your time.
Yes, yes. And so one of the things I heard you say is that, you were in this space where you were starting to build your business and you started seeing the ads for the challenge and you were also praying. Now, I want to highlight this because this is around the time I met you and you told me, hey, I'm really interested in this, but I just I'm not working right now. And in a position when you don't have active income coming in and then to make an investment, that can be very scary, that can be very risky. And for many people, that's the reason why they'll say, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I secure employment. I'm going to wait until a better time. But you said, you know what? I'm not going to wait. I'm going to pray about this. I'm going to talk to my husband, I think you said, and you decided to move forward. What made you decide to move forward at a point in time that was very financially, pivotal for you?
Well, my husband, he says it best. He says, nothing changes if nothing change. Nothing changes if nothing change, right? And I had to bet on myself. It was that time that I really needed to bet on myself. And so we talked through it. And I was like, wow, this is a risky investment to make. Not sure what I'm going to get back out. I don't know what Jasmine's offering behind that Zoom camera. I don't know what's going to be behind the portal when I get in there. I knew nothing. All I knew was I saw this young woman who was doing the thing on a major level, and I had to trust that I could trust your expertise. And when I tell you, I was so nervous to make the investment. Very nervous, very afraid, but I still had to maintain the positivity about it. I had to believe in myself because it was the time where, okay, Rhonda, you're already kind of like at your lowest. You have $0 coming in. So bet on yourself. Let's go, and I had to really commit to the process. I'm like, this is the right time for me to commit to the process. And I was blessed to have the time to write the book and all the things and really dial into the program. And so, I really had to weigh that option in my head. And that's valid. And I loved how you were able to say, hey, take your time to think about it. I love that. But when we wait on certain things to happen, like, again, nothing happens. You'll still live the same life. And I've always adopted that because I've been a coach for a very long time. I am the type of person, I don't ever want to keep living the same unproductive year. So I have to kind of shake it up a little bit. So if it means investing in myself or learning something new, just having the confidence to do that is that's just in my heart to do. So
Yes.
so like I said, and it was one of the best investments I ever made. I tell people that to this day.
Oh, I appreciate that. And having that fear of what's behind the Zoom is really real.
Yes.
Because people are good marketers and they sound good, and you just really don't know. You really don't know and this is one of the reasons why I am doing my dissertation on this, because it needs to be discussed and it needs to be talked about. So I appreciate you for trusting me.
Yes. Yes.
I have a question for you. Another question for you. I know that you were, I just learned today that you had previously published 2 books. So
Yes.
as a previously published author of nonfiction books, what made you make the decision to then invest in a program since you were already published?
Well, I really saw where I had left some things out. I was able to evaluate after going through the week-long challenge with you. I was like, okay, I see where I left leads on the table, I left dollars on the table, saw some issues with my titles, saw some issues with how everything was done. Like going through that week challenge with you, it was the best thing I ever could have done. So it solidified like the why behind why I needed to invest in this, to write this book, because I knew that my clients were corporate clients. I'm B2B, and it all had to make sense. And I needed to get the respect that I needed to get. And having a well thought out, well written book is the way to go.
How long did it take you to write your book and have it in hand going through the program?
Now, see,
I think it was the collective when you were in, but it's now called the Published and Paid Academy. So
it was a good minute for me because I had to, because I know you gave like, hey, you can record your chapters. And that didn't really work for me. So I went back to old school typing. And so it took me a minute because I'm that person. I go back and forth in my head, all the things that you tell us not to do, right? But I knew that typing it out was the best way for me. So it took me a little longer, and I dedicated like 2 to 4 hours a day. And so I started writing in September. And so I was in editing by January.
That's 12 weeks. You do understand.
Was it 12 weeks?
That's like 16 weeks.
It felt like 20 months.
That's like 12 to 16 weeks.
It is? Oh gosh, I never counted.
You said it took you a while. And so, my mind automatically went to a year. And I'm like, well, I know it was less than a year, 16 weeks.
Okay, see, I never counted the weeks.
September to January. That's about 4 months.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, well, 4 months. Okay.
16 weeks. From starting to having your book in hand.
Yes.
I want y'all to hear this. Writing a book does not have to take you years to do.
That's so true.
It does not. Writing a high quality book does not have to take you years to do. And so let's talk about this, because oftentimes when it comes to self-publishing, there's this air that, self-published authors are less credible, but your book has opened so many doors for you. Yes. So I want to talk about that. So I know that you, like, LinkedIn is your jam, right? Yep. Like that's your jam. You were new to content creation. How did you get over the fear of creating content, and what did creating content do for your brand and your business?
Well, really, it was you telling us, hey, if you want to show up as a subject matter expert, then subject matter experts put out content. I don't know if I said it the same way, but you said that if I want to be a subject matter expert, you have to share the content for people to consider you as a subject matter expert. So I really took that to heart and said, okay, Rhonda, you got to get up in here and start sharing this content. Did I worry about what people thought? Yes. Did I battle imposter syndrome? Yes. But I felt like I had to act anyway. And so a lot of times I was throwing videos out there and running in the corner, hiding my face like, oh gosh, I don't know, But like I said, it obviously it came over well because I have picked up speaking gigs from that, like well-paid speaking gigs from me just showing up. And then too, like doing some of the free webinars on other people's platforms, that has opened doors for me. Looking for speaking gigs on my own I've done that. I've put in the proposals and I've won several of those. And so, being unafraid to build a table, because, we're not Barack Obama's, Michelle Obama's. Nobody really knows who we are. We're just out here. Really, we're all little fish. And so we have to be ready to build the table. And so don't be afraid. So just because you wrote the book doesn't mean success is going to come. You really have to put some work into it. And you told us that. You're like, hey, you got to get out here, and you sharing your real stories. Those really hit home for me. So.
Yeah. Listen, all my clients get the real tea. They get the behind the scenes I don't share.
That's right. It's different. It's different in that that Monday call.
Yes. Y'all get the real tea. And so I know that you went from transitioning into full-time entrepreneurship, taking the risk to write a book. Now you're creating content and really building up your brand. And now the content is translating over to speaking contracts. It's translating over to opportunities. And LinkedIn and creating content and talking about your book is how you landed one of your first corporate contracts there as an entrepreneur, correct?
Yes,
Can you
correct.
share more information about that?
Yes. I was invited to speak on a platform called Momentum Leaders. And out of nowhere, a guy was like, hey, I saw you. And he's not even a female, it's for women. So I was like, how did you find me? He was like, on YouTube. I found you on YouTube. And so he invited me in to speak, took care of all of my flight, all the things. And so there you go. It starts, right? And from there, it has just gone up and up. I'll be back in Birmingham in December for a larger speaking gig for an 8-hour training day. And they're paying me every dollar that I've asked for. I have not had to, go back and forth, with anybody about the price. They were like, okay, that's the price. And so then I'm writing another proposal for a 6-figure contract, which is a 6-month group coaching program for the Influential Leader Accelerator, where I'm going to take this team through it, right? For
your coaching program.
My program, that's right. And so, it's been amazing. And they didn't flinch when I said, well, this is the price. They were like, okay.
6 figures in 6 months for 6 months to work with one team. So let's talk numbers if you're comfortable. If you're not, it's totally cool. How would you say in the past year, because you've been a full-time entrepreneur, from writing your book, growing your brand and business, would you say that writing your book has helped you to generate in your business?
Yes, it has helped me to generate more than what I've invested into the program. I mean,
well, you just said you got a 6-figure contract on the table. So
yes, right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to send that off tomorrow. And it's basically a yes, because I had dinner with the lady when I was in Birmingham last time. So, so I'm like, yes. So it has really helped to I don't even 10x whatever I put into this program. It has done that and then some. And following that phase 4, when I tell you it is a beast, it's a monster.
It is. In a good way. In a good way.
Oh no, I was crying a lot of nights, but I committed to the process. You have to commit all the way. When she's telling you need to be posting 7 days a week, whatever number of times, follow the story method. Talk about this, do that, do this, do countdowns. You need to follow it, because I was so worried. I was like, I hadn't been out here long. When I was in the real book launch phase doing my first virtual launch, I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to register for my virtual event. Nobody knows me, but I had almost 60 people to register, almost 40 people to attend. And a lot of them were like, hey, we just followed your content and it was amazing content. And they bought books. During my launch phase, I think I sold from April till May, that little 4-week period.
Yeah.
We have sold over 100 and something books just off of that. And then I've had several book purchases. I've had 4 since May. That's when the book was.
Congratulations.
Yes. And so Salesforce, they bought 60, right off the grip, and looking to buy more. And those books they're all over the continent. I was like, I got to do a map, because they've been to India, Ireland, India. These people have the books in hand. And I'm just super excited about all the things that have been happening with
literally worldwide. I want you to sit in that for a minute.
And we were having dinner. The person who's my connect there, she was like, "Oh yeah, the book has been all over the U.S." because she travels worldwide, internationally, to do talent development for Salesforce. And I was like, "What? Africa? All the places?" I was like, she was like, "Yeah, you're an international author now." I was like, I was like, "Okay, I can add that to the list."
I really love how you shared that, in addition to your book, you created your coaching program, and now you're actually able to take teams, corporate teams through your curriculum-based coaching program to help them get results.
Mhm.
Oftentimes people think coaching programs are only to sell, to consumers in the online space, not considering the fact that a well-structured program can be licensed. It can, you can take groups of teams through it.
Mhm.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm really big on curriculum-based programs instead of cheaper courses, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
because that's where the money is, to be honest with you. Whether you are working with consumers or whether you're working in business with businesses,
Mhm.
people want full solutions and not just a one-off type of engagement. And so, how was that for you? And I know that you have a background in education as well.
Mhm.
So, what made you choose the curriculum-based coaching program as opposed to just, like a course or a master class on a specific topic?
Well, for me, and I've been around, for a minute. I know I may look like I'm 19, but I've been around the block and have seen like what has worked,
Mhm,
right? And I
mhm.
really feel like curriculum-based programs, they lead to the most transformation for people. It gives
Yes.
them an opportunity to self-reflect. It leaves space for them to even do assignments that will help them or even help them implement some of the change. When you do the one-off and there's no accountability, nothing changes. So they've just been through a program where nothing changed because it was just a one-off accountability, a one-off course, or no one was there to kind of drive home some of the outcomes of the course and teaching them how to implement. Because that's where it is. It's like I hear people all the time, and leaders are notorious for saying, "Oh, I've been through that already." But my second question is, have you executed what you've already heard? And to me, you can never hear a topic enough because every time I've heard a topic over and over again, I've learned something new from it. You have to just be open. And when a leader says, "I know everything," then that's when, their influence is just going down the drain at that point.
Right,
They're
right,
not open. So,
right, right. I know oftentimes, and just from my experience, because you stated it too, like I do curriculum-based programs, and
mhm.
oftentimes when you're working directly with consumers as opposed to teams, sometimes people can shy away from it, depending on, because it can feel like a lot of work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, from your perspective, because you went through what's now the Published and Paid Academy, and you said, hey, phase 4 is a beast,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Is it the work that makes it? Is it the mindset shift that you have to take to actually step into being that person that does it? Like, or is it that it's just difficult?
Well, you gave something that is like on a times 10 marketing level for people, but you just have to, but it works though. That's what I'm saying. But you have to say, okay, one, I'm gonna commit to this process because you talk about it the whole time, like committing to the process, being open to learning, not thinking that learning is hard. And so all those things were in me when phase 4 came. But that is where the rubber met the road,
Yeah,
baby.
marketing.
That's the
Everybody,
phase four.
everybody says, I need marketing, I need marketing, I need marketing. But when you understand what it takes to effectively market,
Like, am
people are
I
like, I just want
confident?
somebody else to do it for me. And the thing about it is that you got to learn how to market. You can go hire a marketing agency and they can take your money because
Exactly.
if you don't know your messaging, if you don't know who your audience is, they can just throw anything together, put it out there. Hey, we did it. And it's not going to be effective. I know because I've paid people
Exactly.
and I've had to correct them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say marketing isn't fun, but it's a necessary
No, yeah, you gotta
it's
eat, right?
a skill set that you have to do. I'm not going to say it's hard. I will say that it's expansive.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
expanding can bring more exposure, which can make people feel fearful.
Yes.
Am I
Yeah.
doing this right? All those types of questions. And so it really challenges you to show up to
Yeah.
be the person that you were called to be
That's right.
instead of the person that you've been.
That's right. And that is so true because you're like, the new word, is it cringe? I remember asking myself that every day. I was like, I am tired of me. I know everybody else is tired of me. My husband's like, keep doing it. I was like, okay. He said, people are asking me, what is she doing? So I was like,
That's the thing. We think
yeah.
people are tired of seeing us, but the thing about it is they haven't even seen you.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
haven't been showing up enough
Yes,
because of
that's
the algorithm. You think you're doing too much and really you're not doing enough.
exactly.
The best thing that you can do, hey, there's a saying, best marketer wins.
That's right.
Best marketer wins. The person that can show up the most and
Mhm.
stay in front of people's faces the most is the person who wins, whether or not they are the most skilled or most qualified and credible.
That's right. And hey, like I said, when it was all said and done during my launch phase, I sold more books than I thought because I didn't do a whole lot of things. I was only doing the one virtual event. Some people they go and do the bestseller. I wasn't doing that because that just didn't float my boat. So it was a lot of parts that I probably wasn't doing. And just marketing just the virtual book, I was so surprised because, like I said, I'm new to business. My LinkedIn, it was there, but not where I needed it to be. I don't have 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. So it was a little scary for me. So I was
You
super
did
proud,
it.
to surpass even the number of books sold by now in a lifetime of a self-published book. I'm so excited that I've at least hit that threshold because right now I'm a little over 200 right now. Right.
Awesome. And
Six,
over
six,
six-figure contracts, over six figures, and at least over $50,000 in
yes.
speaking and other sales. And
Mhm.
I'm telling y'all, you don't have to sell thousands upon tens of thousands or millions of books.
That's
It's
right.
having the right book, getting your book in the hands of the right people, and
Yes.
creating content that converts is gonna open doors for you. So, Dr. Anderson, what does the next year look like for you?
Well, right now, like I said, I'm trying to really master the sales psychology, of business. Like I really want to be that girl that shows up and they're like, "Ooh, I just want to work with her because she just came through the door." I want my reputation to precede me. So I'm really working on that intentionally. And, being showing up even more as much as I possibly can. And so, because all of that's new to me, that consistent business development, I'm working on that now. And I actually feel like I've defined how I want this to go. It's totally B2B for me. What's going to be the strategy? So I'm working on all of that. So that's like the most important thing to me. And just, being published in some of the other trade magazines that are geared towards my industry, doing a little bit more of that, getting on podcasts. I have not ventured into putting my podcast out there yet because I'm really trying to get a little, a couple of legs under me, some stability. But I'm thinking probably by next fall, I should do it. It'll probably be happening then. So
I'm excited for you.
yes, I am too, but like I said, I thank you so much for all that you did with me, that those 12 months, you did way more than you could possibly even think. Because I know I'm a little quiet on the calls, but I'm taking it all in.
I know
So
you come asking questions, ready to go all the way in.
hey,
Listen,
when I first got in there, I'm like, these people are doing real work. You should have saw my jaw hit the computer. The first call, you're like, okay, we're going through somebody's probably their synopsis. And so I'm like, oh, shucks. What is going on here? These people are working. And so it really gave me an opportunity to say, wow, they've made it there. I can too.
yeah.
And so I
And
love
that's one of the reasons why I love group coaching. I have nothing against, like one-on-one coaching at all. I just know that in business, having community and having that additional support and being able to see, hey, I'm not in this alone, and having others to bounce ideas off of, and even being able to learn from other people, I feel like it's invaluable to their learning process, and it's invaluable when you are in the entrepreneurial journey. I can definitely see more one-on-one for people that are years in business, maybe, but still that group. I'm years in business, almost 10 years. I still am in groups and I find value in them for the reasons that you just shared.
That's right. And I still have my accountability partner from the group. We've created an accountability partner. I think somebody put the question in the group and people were like, who wants to be one? So I teamed up with Dr. Rochelle Whitaker. And when I say she's
Awesome.
one of the best people I could have ever partnered with, we keep one another held accountable. We're able to say, hey, why would you do that when you could realistically do this? So we can have that candid talk to one another. And I still feel like it's been helping me even beyond the program to have,
Absolutely.
so because she knew exactly what I had gone through, what we both went through, and she was able to give me some consulting, and I was able to do the same for her, give her advice and share our experiences. So it's been really good. We still talk to this day, at least once a week. So
Listen, what I found is that, when people get accountability partners through the program, not only do they become friends, but they stay holding each other accountable for quite some time. It's never just, oh, while we're in here and then like be 2-3 years down the line and folks are still friends. So,
Mhm.
so I'm glad that you guys were able to connect. Dr. Whitaker is amazing as well. So listen, this has been phenomenal. Everyone, listen, make sure you go follow Dr. Anderson. Let everyone know how we can find you, how we can connect with you, and where we can purchase a copy of your book.
Well, you can definitely go to my one-stop shop, which is linktree.com/Dr. Rhonda Anderson. You'll find all of my socials. You'll find links to the book. There are a couple of freebies on the Linktree as well. You can find my 10 Extra Talent newsletter from LinkedIn. So all the things, you'll find them right there.
All right, linktree.com/Dr. Rhonda Anderson. And we'll make sure that we put the link for you guys in the show notes so that you can go directly there. Make sure you connect with her on LinkedIn and YouTube and grab a copy of her book. And what would you like to leave our listeners with? A word of encouragement or motivation?
Well, again, after you write the book, it does not guarantee success. Be open and be bold enough to build your table, create opportunities for yourself. Don't wait for anybody to tap you on the shoulder because that's not necessarily happening. So
I love it. I love it. Guys, listen, put in the work.
that's
Go
right.
create your own stage. And with that, I will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning in and make sure you share this with someone who needs it.